The two levels of stillness, access, concentration, and absorption, don't confuse the rest. Stop for the destination. Dear friends, let me tell you a little story about a meditator. We'll call him Joe. One day, Joe sat under a tree, watching his breath like a hawk watching a rabbit. Things were going well. His body felt still. His mind became quiet. And then, boom! Suddenly, everything seemed to stop. No thoughts, no sounds, just pure silence. Joe blinked a few times and thought, this must be Nirvana. I'm done. Spoiler alert, he wasn't done. What Joe had entered was a state we call access concentration, or in Pali, Upacāra Samādhi. It is a powerful place, like pulling off the highway into a perfectly quiet rest area where your GPS says, you're almost there. But here's the catch, almost is not the same as arrived. The illusion of arrival. When the Nimitta, that inner light or image, arises, like a shimmering moon behind the clouds, our attention becomes very strong, but it's not yet stable. The concentration is focused, yes, but the 5 factors of deep meditation haven't fully ripened. And so, like a toddler trying to stand up for the first time, we fall. Often we fall into what is called Bhavanga chitta, the default background consciousness, like the screensaver of your mind. This is where things get tricky. You see, in this background state, meditators often come out saying, I saw nothing. Everything stopped. It was like the end of the world. I think I experienced Nirvana. My dear friends, that's not Nirvana. That's what we call nap time. Why we get confused. Let me give it to you straight. The mind, when not fully stabilized, can slip into a kind of unconscious lull, a mental autopilot inherited from past lives. Yes, this state is real. Yes, it feels profound, but no, it's not liberation. It's just the mind slipping into its old habits, replaying its favorite reruns from past lives like a spiritual Netflix. Why does the meditator say, I knew nothing, I was just gone? Because in Bhavanga, the object is often something near the moment of death from a previous life. The mind is not anchored in present wisdom, not yet seeing dependent origination, not yet seeing namarupa, name and form, and certainly not yet beyond them. So, what's the danger? Well, imagine mistaking the glow of a street lamp for the sun. If you pitch a tent and settle down there, you never get to the real sunrise. So meditators become fascinated with that blankness, that stillness, and start training themselves to fall into it repeatedly. And yes, if you do that, you'll get good at it. Just like if you practice falling asleep every time you meditate, you'll become the world champion nap meditator, but that's not the Dhamma's aim. Strengthening the mind. The 5 spiritual powers. So what do we need to move forward? We need to develop the 5 spiritual faculties: faith, sada, the compass in your pocket, energy, vriya, the boots on your feet, mindfulness, sati, the lamp in your hand, concentration, samadhi, the steady grip on your steering wheel, wisdom, panya, the map that shows the terrain. These 5, working together, can keep your attention steady on the Nimitta, that mental sign, and move you beyond access concentration into Appanā Samādhi, full absorption. That's when the mind becomes fully unified, stable, and razor-sharp. Absorption, a mountain of stillness. In Appanā Samādhi, your mind doesn't just touch the object, it merges with it, like iron meeting a magnet. You're not just near stillness, you are stillness. You sit for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3. You hear no sounds, no thoughts intrude. You forget the itch on your nose. You don't even care about snacks, and in America, that's how you know it's serious. In this state, the Nimitta is radiant, unwavering. You're not drifting into unconsciousness, but diving into deep clarity. This is not the rest stop. This is the summit. One last thing. Some people ask, can I reach Nirvana by meditating like this? And I say, Well, not if you keep pulling over at every gas station. Remember, access concentration is like tying your shoelaces. Important, yes, but if you sit there tying them for 5 hours and never walk, that's not the path. So friends, tie your shoes, get strong, know the signs, but keep walking, because the mountain is still ahead, and the sunrise, it's worth it. May your practice be steady, your nimitta bright, and your coffee optional. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.